It's been a while. Before I talk about the 5 most criminally underrated spells in Pathfinder 2e, let me give a personal update and update your Ronald lore. While I've continued to run my private Pathfinder 2e games, I have taken a break and been doing less for this channel, due to recent events. On the one hand, I've been advancing the game agenda on my other channel, Ronald Off the Record, contingent with the release of the final season of Stranger Things, only to then have to deal with the most elaborate, cruelest queerbait in media history. Megan, you're here! Now that I'm talking. As soon as I started recording, Megan ran upstairs to join me today. Anyway, still recovering, still angry. Link in the description to my channel if you're interested. And on the other hand, I am a political activist with BAMN by any means necessary, and Donald Trump has been taking steps to implement his vision of a fascist police state. We've also seen a huge growth in the mass movement to defend democracy and stop fascism. And hey, I have a new channel, the BAMN Report, link in the description, and you can also see our first video. So I've been a busy beaver, and you can say I'm in another low-effort arc, so be gracious. Today I'll talk about the 5 most criminally underrated spells in Pathfinder 2e. Now, what do I mean by this? Not the blockbusters that Pathfinder 2e vets flock to, like the slow spell. Oh my god, the slow spell. That spell which can incapacitate a boss creature. If they critically fail, they become slow too, so they only have 1 action per turn for a minute. It doesn't have the incapacitation trait either, so it's not weaker versus higher level creatures. No, not spells like that. But spells that players tend to sleep on who are relatively new to the system, either because they don't seem very flashy, or they're lower rank, or a combination of both. So meanwhile, to introduce myself, I'm Ronald, the Rules Lawyer. I am a lawyer who runs tabletop role-playing games. My preferred system is Pathfinder 2e. Support my Patreon. I don't make money as an attorney. For an explanation why, look at the video whose thumbnail is on the screen. Supporting my Patreon gives you ad-free early access to most of my videos and exclusive content. So before I proceed with my list, I'm going to give a caveat. These are the spells that I have come up with through my own investigation. Now, I'm sure, okay, I've been out of the loop of Pathfinder for the last few months, so maybe the meta has changed, maybe there are other spells I haven't listed. So that's what the comment section is for. Feel free, and actually please do add spells to my list. My number 5 spell is something that many players may have already discovered. But for real, if you haven't noticed it, then you should, and it's Laughing Fit. Haha. This is Pathfinder's version of hideous laughter from D&D, now IP friendly. Whereas D&D spell just fucked you and incapacitated you entirely, this one is more gradated. You have to critically fail to be totally incapacitated, and that part lasts only 1 round. Anyway, if you're coming from D&D and checking out Pathfinder, you can't win with a single spell against a certain creature in this system. It's more of a team game. Alright, Laughing Fit. It is a 2nd rank spell, so available to 3rd level characters, and it's in the arcane and occult traditions. Within 30 feet, you cast it on 1 living creature, has to be alive, and if they fail, they are slowed 1. That means you lose 1 action of your 3 actions per turn. You also cannot use reactions, actions that are in addition to your 3 regular actions that are triggered by something else. The most common reaction being Reactive Strike, called Opportunity Attack in D&D. Which only a minority of creatures have in Pathfinder. Slowed 1 is huge. You're basically denying them a whole action. There are some monsters in this system that have 3 action activities. It's their big showstopper. This makes it impossible for them to use. They also have 2 action activities. This makes it much harder to deploy. For example, if they want to move in order to target more of your party members, then they can't do so, because that costs an action. You can also add on top of this by doing some other debuff that denies them another action, like tripping the foe or grappling them. Note that this does not have the incapacitation trait, so it's equally effective against higher level creatures. And we'll see a common theme here. I don't think any of the spells I'm going to present today have that trait, which is very important because for many players, their most challenging fights in Pathfinder are against higher level boss creatures or lieutenant creatures. Now, unlike the slow spell, which has a 1-minute flat duration, this one needs to be sustained, so you have to spend an action every subsequent round to continue its effect. But this has other benefits compared to slow. First of all, even if they succeed on their saving throw, they are denied reactions. Very, very important against a foe that has a powerful reaction like Reactive Strike, which is a free attack against foes who do a number of things within their reach. And if they critically fail, they fall prone and cannot do any actions or reactions for a whole round, and then they take the effects of the failure afterward. Note that this demands a will saving throw, so this is a great spell against a higher level foe who is more bronze than brains. And a number of such foes have reactive strike, and this will likely deny them that. And there are many other creative reasons you might want to deny a foe a reaction, which I will not go into. For number 4, we have Laughing Fit's higher rank cousin, Roaring Applause. It's very similar to Laughing Fit. It's better and funnier, in my opinion. It's a 3rd rank spell for arcane, divine, and occult casters. It has a lot of similarities to Laughing Fit, but it can reach 60 feet. And with a flamboyant flourish, you invoke such powerful feelings in your audience that you incite cheers and applause, and they spend their time applauding you as a result. The additional benefit is that if they fail, the reason why they're slowed 1 is because they are clapping for you, which has the Manipulate trait, which, if you know Pathfinder, is one of the ways to trigger your party's reactive strikes. So if you have a fighter in your party or a character with a similar reaction, then this is a great spell. Next on my list is the Fear spell, which a number of players have already discovered. You target a creature, and if they fail their saving throw, they become Frightened 2. And Frightened is a powerful debuff. It lowers basically all of their stats, all of their checks, and all of their DCs. And then it ticks down at the end of their turn. So I've been known for saying every +1 matters. Well, what if you gave everyone in your party +2? That's what this does when you are dealing with a solo foe with this spell. And lowering its stats by 2 is effectively like subtracting 1 to 2 levels from the monster. And this is a system where lowering a monster by 2 levels reduces their threat by half. Even if they succeed on their save, Frightened 1 is very useful. And if they critically fail, it's really bad for them. They're Frightened 3 and they're fleeing for a round. Fleeing means they spend their whole turn trying to get away from you, which often means they waste 2 turns. But the kicker is that if you raise it to 3rd rank, you can target up to 5 creatures with this spell. This is available to every spell tradition as well. And it does not have the incapacitation trait. So you might be an 18th level character finding use for this 3rd rank spell against a group of dragons, and it could be a great tactical choice. Number 2 is Befuddle. It's a humble 1st rank spell that can be used against a higher level spellcaster. It does not have the incapacitation trait, and if they fail, they become Clumsy 2 and Stupefied 2. Now, what does Stupefied do? It not only lowers their spellcasting stat, but it also has a chance of disrupting any spell that they cast. Anytime they attempt to cast a spell, they have to do a flat check, which means rolling a d20 without any modifiers, and roll 5 plus the stupefied value or higher. So if they fail their saving throw, there's a 1/3 chance that any spell that they cast will be disrupted, and they waste their spell slot and their actions. Also, Clumsy is great for buffing all of your party's attacks against them. It even has an effect if they have a regular success on their saving throw. And if they critically fail, it's Clumsy 3, Stupefied 3, and they are confused. They attack random creatures, they are off guard, so even easier to hit, and they're limited to strikes and cantrips. Now the downside here is that it lasts only 1 round, and it targets their will saving throw, which for many spellcasters is their best. However, if you're dealing with a higher level spellcaster, a single one of their spells targeting the entire party can be devastating. And they usually start with their strongest spells first. And since it has a partial effect even on a successful save, it's worth trying. It makes it easier to resist their spells and might disrupt it entirely. The number 1 spell on my list is like Befuddle, but for melee monsters. It's Enfeeble. This one can impose the enfeebled condition on a foe. It's a penalty to all of their strength-based attack rolls, so if they look strong, this makes them less accurate, and it's a penalty to their damage. This is also a lowly 1st rank spell, which can be easily overlooked. If they fail their save, it lasts for an entire minute. It makes them enfeebled too, so it effectively lowers their offense to at least 1 monster level lower than they are. If they critically fail, they're enfeebled 3, which is effectively 2 monster levels. In my experience, many deaths in Pathfinder are due to higher level melee monsters that can hit really hard. Because higher attack bonuses are deadly. Let's look at the Ogre Warrior, a level 3 creature who can one-shot kill level 1 characters because of the way the crit system works. Remember, in Pathfinder, if your total attack roll exceeds the enemy's armor class by at least 10, it is a critical hit, and you get to double your damage. The Ogre, meanwhile, has an Ogre Hook, which has the Deadly trait, which adds another d10 of damage on a critical hit. Even if you maxed out your armor class at level 1, your armor class is only 18, and that Ogre needs to roll only a 16 on the d20 to critically hit you with their plus 12 bonus. However, if you can make that Ogre Enfeeble too, they now need to roll an 18 to critically hit you, so that -2 has reduced their chance of critting you, those lethal blows, by 40%. Sometimes the relative percentage change is even more dramatic, it's like 67%. Now, the downside to this spell is that it targets Fortitude, and many of the monsters, the big beefy monsters you want to Enfeeble, tend to have Fortitude as their best saving throw. In this case, your level 1 spellcaster needs to hope that the Ogre Warrior rolls a 5 or lower on their d20 to fail their saving throw. But if it lands, it basically makes it a much easier fight. Still, you don't have to target that saving throw. You can use one of the other spells from today's video, Laughing Fit, against that same foe, which targets the Ogre's will saving throw, which is much lower. Their Fortitude save was plus 11, but their will saving throw was only a plus 5. Now they fail their saving throw against Laughing Fit by rolling an 11 or lower, and that will slow this Ogre. And you can use hit and run tactics against such a slowed Ogre. Spend your first action going into melee, striking, and then backing out with your third action. And all that Ogre can do with its 2 actions on its turn as it's laughing is walk up to you, make 1 strike, and that's it. 0 strikes if you have a really high speed. All right, and of course I'm not done. Let's look at another spell. Command. Command is another lowly first rank spell that is overlooked. Basically, you command a creature within 30 feet, and if they fail their will saving throw, you give them a command that they cannot ignore. Either you make them run away, release what they're holding, drop prone, or stand in place. You immediately deny them reactions. Now, besides standing in place, these are all actually really good. Running away means they effectively lose 2 actions if they have to be in your face to effectively fight you. They spend an action getting away from you and another to come back. Drop prone is similar. Dropping prone is a single action. It costs an action in Pathfinder, and it has the move trait. So if anyone in your party has reactive strike, this is a rare instance where triggering your reactive strike results in you being able to attack them while they're prone. Even better if you're a higher level fighter who has the feat that gives you a second reactive strike, because if they try to get up, they are punished by you again. Also, having them release what they're holding could be useful if you have a party member ready in action to pick up that weapon right away. Could be devastating for a foe who depends on a weapon. And don't forget, if that foe has reactive strike or some other reaction, this denies them reactions if they fail their saving throw until they obey your command. And when you raise it to 5th rank, oh my god, you get to target up to 10 creatures. You can affect a whole battlefield with commands. All right, some final thoughts. Many of you have probably noticed that all of the spells I brought up today are debuff spells. Now, this isn't to say that casters cannot do damage in Pathfinder 2e. In fact, I have a video I'm about to show you that you can look at for some insights on that. But this is a video about the criminally underrated spells, and let's be real, if a spell did great damage, people would not be overlooking it. Another thing to say is that Pathfinder is more strategic than other similar games like D&D, in that you can't take the spells that the community meta has decided are the best spells and succeed. You have to adapt in Pathfinder. In the Ogre example, doing things like recalling knowledge, doing the recall knowledge action against a monster you're not familiar with to find out their lowest saving throw, doing things like that, and also having a diversity of spells that target different defenses is probably more important than picking the 3 best spells. You're not looking for the best spells, you're looking for a set of tools that can deal with the diverse situations you'll face. So you might want to check out an older video of mine called How to Caster Good in Pathfinder. It was part of my law school series, where I give an overview of spellcasting and how to generally optimize your spellcaster in the system. So that's it, a relatively short and simple video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel. Also consider supporting my Patreon, which gives you ad-free early access to most of my videos and exclusive content. Also join my growing Discord community. There are more than 6,000 of us. I hang out there a lot. We talk about Pathfinder 2e and other gaming, and also have our own drop-in, drop-out organized play system called Endless Tale Tavern. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Ronald the Rules Lawyer. I'll see you next time.